So even though we're going to be doing a fall makeup look, I wanted it to be quite a wearable, natural look. Any fall makeup look you've seen me do before, it's usually been with like the really nice rich chocolatey browns and everything, and it can be a bit more evening style makeup for some. So I wanted to do something which is a bit more wearable, daytime, easy to do, and that anyone can wear. So let's go. First off, I just want to slick my brows so that they can set. And I feel like recently I've been doing this before my foundation because I just feel like I don't get any kind of like makeup mixed in with it. And it just seems to sit better for some reason. So I'm just gonna press and push up. There you go, you can really see where I'm sparse there. But these are my brows, this is what I've got to deal with. This is my Urban Decay Slick Day Brow, by the way. It's the only one that literally holds your brows in place but doesn't leave a white cast. Trust me, some of the other ones that I've used before are so amazing at keeping them in place, such as a Too Faced one, but they leave this white cast. And I've been out and then I've had someone say to me, what is that on your brows? Like, not in a good way. My skincare is already done, so I'm going to be adding a primer. I'm using my Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer. Quite like this, it's quite smoothing on the skin. So just a few dots. So a couple of new products I'm going to be using today. One is a new concealer, which I'm excited to try. It's the MAC Studio Radiance 24-Hour Luminous Lift Concealer. So excited to try that. But I'm going to start with my foundation. I'm using my NARS Sheer Glow today. Just thought I'd change it up a bit. I'm just going to put this on the back of my hand here. I'm going to use my Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation brush because I'm recently loving my Hourglass brushes. It's not that I never loved it before, I just feel like I didn't use them as much. You know, when you're just like, you have so many brushes and then you just get so used to some and you don't, you know, like you just don't use all of them. But this is a really nice brush. I feel like your foundation just kind of like glides on, as you can see. There's no like special technique you need. It's just a really easy foundation brush. Look at that, it's so good. So I literally just paint it over with this brush and it glides really well over all of the kind of like angles of the face. So I'm just going to take this over the forehead, and I do feel like I get a really nice even finish with this. I don't get brush marks. Look, it's just giving me a really nice veil of colour all over my skin. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my concealer. My shade is NC20 that they've sent me. It might be a little light for me, but I've got a darker one in case I need to mix it. I think this is going to be a bit light, so I'm going to mix in the darker one, which is NW35. Like alone, neither of them work, so mixed in together, they should be pretty good. Let's see, I feel like that's good. So I'm just going to get my beauty blender and I'm just going to dip into this concealer. I'm going to take a little bit first. I'm quite interested to see how this concealer sits on the skin. Okay, so I've got my Huda Beauty setting powder in banana powder and my powder puff. I'm just going to press over because then I know it's just going to stay put. So let's just dust this out of the way using my Hourglass, my Real Techniques brush. Okay, I'm just gonna go back into this concealer and now do my under eyes. Okay, the coverage is really good. I didn't think the coverage was gonna be this good. It's quite a nice concealer. Like, I really like the texture of it. It's brightening, so it's definitely giving that nice kind of like radiant finish to the face. I'm just gonna take it on the under eye, just take it up towards the sides. It does give a really nice luminosity to the skin. I'm gonna take it just on areas I wanna just brighten up a bit. I actually really like it. It is definitely brightening, and I feel like once I've got my powder on, everything's gonna come back down to the right level again. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and set this. So I've just got my powder here. I'm interested to see how this sets on the under eye area. I just want to get that nice matte finish all the way through the center of my face. So I've got my Real Techniques brush, just going to dust off this powder. I have a feeling I'm going to love this concealer. It does look really good on the skin. I had a feeling initially that maybe it would be a little bit too runny and just disappear and wouldn't give me the coverage, but actually it's given me amazing coverage. Like, I haven't even had to go over that area too much. I literally just went like that and it was done. Okay. Just getting a bigger brush. This is my BK Beauty 106. I'm just gonna go over the cheeks. I don't want that to be, you know, like unset at all because I'm putting a powder blush on. Now, I think I can get on with my brows. I'm really loving my base. So again, one of those things where I'm like, why don't I use my Sheer Glow foundation enough? And also this concealer I am absolutely loving. I'm just really interested to see how this lasts all day. So I reckon my shade is probably NC 35 or 38. Probably NC 38 when I'm tanned and NC 35 when I'm not. So I've had to mix these two together, which are NC 20 and NW35, because NW35 is way too orange for me. NC20 is way too light for me. So luckily I've managed to get the right kind of shade by mixing them together. But I'm going to be doing my brows now. So I'm going to use my Hourglass Brow Micro Sculpting Pencil in Arch. Ultra fine. I haven't really used this brow pencil before, so I'm excited to see what this is like. And my brows are already pushed up. And it's very ultra fine, so I'm hoping I can just create these kind of like brow strokes really easily. Oh wow, this is super good pencil. I just missed out the A there. This is a super good pencil. Like, really easy to do those kind of like hair strokes. I like this pencil. So I'm just going to do the same thing here. Really good brow pencil, but I probably would go for a slightly lighter, actually not lighter, just browner shade, because I feel like this is maybe a little blackish for me, but I feel like I just need a bit of colour, if that makes sense. Also, I'm having a bad brow day, really bad brow day. Like, it's just not happening. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next step, which is kind of, I wanna do the kind of like bronzer and everything, and then I wanna do the eyes. So I'm gonna use my Fenty Beauty Sun Stalker in Island Ting, and I'm gonna be using this on the eyes as well. So this is like, I wanna show you how you can use your bronzer during fall to create this really nice fall look. Just make it really easy for you. So I'm gonna be using my BK Beauty Nikki Rose N15 brush, and I am just starting from the kind of top of the ear, and then just kind of like pressing this in. You see, we just want like a really nice natural sculpt to the cheekbone. And then I'm going to take this around the perimeter of the face, but not too much. I don't want to look like super sun-kissed, because that's not the look we're going for. Just enough that you're kind of happy, you'd be happy with going out like that, in case you don't kind of usually sculpt your cheekbones. Just not so much where it's warming your face. I think that's enough for me. I'm gonna use my BK Beauty 202 brush, and I'm gonna take this into the same bronzer, and I'm gonna basically now just start from the end of my lash line. I don't wanna go too far into the whole lid. I just wanna kind of like focus on that lid area without taking it up into the brow area, because I wanna create a really nice kind of soft shadow using my bronzer. Now what I would suggest is when you are using a bronzer, make sure it isn't anything kind of too orangey or warm. You want to make sure it's something which is a really nice medium brown in comparison to your skin color. So you don't want it to be light, it's got to be enough that it shows up, but also not orangey so that it just looks orangey. You want it to look kind of brownish, right? So you want to make sure you get the right kind of bronzer shade. Okay, so you can use your finger if you need to, just to help blend anything out. Can you see that? We've got that slight lift there, and I feel like that's given us something there. So you don't really need to go on the whole lid. I feel like going along the end, taking it in just a little bit but close to the lash line is gonna give a really nice lift to the whole eye without it looking like you've kind of put a whole load of eyeshadow on. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's do the same on the other eye. So hopefully you can see the difference now. This side very bare, this side you can see it's kind of like a really nice shape to the eye. So we're gonna go along the end of the lash line on the lid. Focus on pressing it in. And then whatever's left on the brush, you can slowly drag upwards and outwards. Just always keep going back to the other eye to refer back to your direction there so that you're going in the same direction so that everything is symmetrical at the end of it. Like I said, take it in towards the middle but only along the lash line so that it looks like it's just a really nice gradient lift. I'm happy with that. I love using bronzers on the eyes as long as they're the right kind of shade because I feel like it doesn't look like an obvious kind of eyeshadow look. Now, you can go on the lower lash line if you want to. Personally, for this look, I'm not going to because I feel like I want it to look a little bit more natural. The only thing I'm going to use it for, other than my eyes and my cheeks, is my nose. I'm going to get my Fenty 200 brush, go into that bronzer and just kind of go along the sides of the bridge of the nose. Just there, just a very small amount. I don't want it to look over contoured. And a little V there usually does the job for me because I feel like it just makes the tip of my nose look smaller. Now I want to curl my lashes, so I'm going to use my Kevyn O'Carr lash curler. You would think that most lash curlers are the same. I'm telling you, I have tried other leading brands and they are not as good as this because this does not pinch you in any way. I've got the mirror so far away from me and I'm still comfortable doing it because it just doesn't pinch. Okay, let's use the Hourglass Unlocked mascara. I usually use the Caution mascara, but I'm gonna go with this one because this seems to be the one that everyone uses. You know, anytime I say, have you tried the Hourglass mascara? They're like, yeah, I use the Unlocked one. I use the Caution and I love it. I guess this is not as, oh, actually this is really good. This is really good. Okay, I am just gonna eat my words. I was gonna say I think the other one's better, but this is actually really good because it's not as, it's actually, like the other one isn't clumpy, but this one is a bit more kind of fine, if that makes sense. Like it's not as thick. This is a really good mascara. I'm feeling I'm going to be using this a lot more. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to take this over to the lower lashes. Again, I don't want a thick, heavy look because we are going for more of a wearable look. Rather than focusing on like, kind of like really nice brownish kind of lips and eyes, like you can see we've gone very subtle on the eyes, but I don't want to go like a heavy brown on the lips. I actually want to keep it quite wearable and something that I feel like all of you guys will very easily wear. So before I go in with my blush, I'm going to actually do my lips. I'm going to use my Anastasia lip liner in Mocha. And I'm just gonna smudge it in with my finger. So I'm feathering in, and then with my finger, I'm just gonna lightly smudge inwards. I love this lip liner. This lip liner has a really nice color. I'm gonna use my Hourglass Phantom Volumizing Glossy Balm. I love this. This is in the shade Trace. I think everyone loves this. This is like so underrated. It's such a good like daily lip balm. It literally is just a lip balm with color. Like very transparent. It's super nice. Like how nice is this like slightly kind of, it's very autumn, very fall, this color. I always feel like you can blot and then you can darken the lip line a little bit if you want to. Now we want to go for a really nice blush. I'm going to go for the NARS blush in Infatuated. I'm going to use my Refa 05 brush. I'm just going to dip into that. This is a really nice color. And I'm going to go just kind of like up on this section here. It's, you know what, sometimes I feel like we always reach for the peach, the pink, and I feel like you sometimes want to try something different. This is not my usual kind of blush, but it's so nice. So don't be afraid to experiment with different colors. Like sometimes, okay, when you think of experiment, you kind of think like when you're thinking of experimenting with different colors when it comes to makeup, to me usually I think about really bright, vivid, bold colors, whereas you don't think of the dark colors because you just think that's not my, it's not gonna suit me, you know? But actually it looks so good when you try it. Like this is, it's less in your face, surprisingly. Like when you have warmer skin, it is less in your face than a bright kind of fuchsia pink. And I just feel like this is a really, really pretty look, especially for fall. That's definitely a color that I'm gonna wear again. I actually think this suits me better than a peachy color. I am loving this look. I think this is something that you should try out. It's a mix of different kind of browns, but I also think it's really easy because you're using a bronzer. And like I said, you want to make sure that that bronzer is more of a brownish shade rather than more, so slightly on the, I would say, I don't want to say cool and it's too cool. Like you want to make sure it's kind of like a good balance, but definitely not on the warmer side. So I would pick the right bronzer, use that on your eyes and your cheeks to just sculpt a little bit, and contour obviously if you want to, but really opt for a blush that is a little bit more on the browner shade as well, on the browner shade, on the browner side. Use all of those brown shades for fall, but don't like use something which is overly pigmented. Like the lips, it's more on the browner shade, but it is a very sheer balm, so it doesn't look in your face. Like even the skin, we've made sure that's nice and flawless, but it does have that really nice luminosity to it, which is due to the foundation because it's sheer glow, and also down to this concealer, which I would 100% use again, which is the MAC Studio Radiance. And I wonder how that looks with the MAC Studio Radiance foundation. So I might try that soon. That is my tutorial on how to achieve a really nice fall look, which is easy to do, wearable. You can wear it in the daytime too, but it's still very fall. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. Don't forget that I do have an online publication called The Beauty Breakfast Club, which is basically an online magazine. I write everything myself. You have newsletters, like there's loads of blog posts on there, and it's all to do with beauty, a bit of health, a bit of life, a bit of just hot topics and style in general. And you have 2 subscription offers on there. One is free, which gives you access to some of the site. The other is paid, which gives you access to the full site, including an extra newsletter a week. And we get a chat room where we can actually talk, and you can ask me whatever questions you have. So hopefully you will show some support there. I also have another YouTube channel, which is NINAUBHI Vlogs, and that has a mixture of vlogs, but primarily my podcast that I host with my husband are very relatable about marriage, life, everything. So you might want to hop on over there and show some support too. I'd really love to see you there. We've got some really interesting conversations we're having in the comment section, which is really fun. All the products, as always, are listed in my description box below, along with any discount codes that I have. Always make sure you check that because I have a whole load of discount codes for you guys, some of them up to 20% off, which is pretty amazing. So check that out too. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of the future videos. Until the next video, I'll see you soon.